Kathleen, and today we'll be making Danish Frøsnappere. So for those that don't know, a Frøsnappere is a type of Danish pastry, and inside the pastry there can be an almond paste mixed with sugar and butter, and then the pastry dough is a laminated dough, and it's going to be twisted, and on both sides there's going to be sesame seeds and poppy seeds. So everything that we need is here right in front of me, and we'll get started with the dough first. We're going to start with 150 milliliters of milk, and we're going to heat it up to lukewarm. Into that, add 25 grams of fresh yeast, or if that's not available, 2 teaspoons of dry yeast. Next, we're going to add our egg, and into that we'll add our yeast mixture. Give this a good mix, and then we're going to add all the other ingredients. The flour, half teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now we have all the ingredients. So if you have a KitchenAid, it can be useful here. If not, you're welcome to mix it by hand. We're just going to knead it into a nice smooth dough. So now that everything's in, I'm going to have it just on low to combine. It's been going just around 4 minutes now, and I can see that the dough is quite smooth now, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off the dough hook, and we will pop this into the fridge for probably half an hour. So while we wait for the dough to rest in the fridge, we're going to make the square of butter and make it into a nice even square that'll go into the dough for the next step. So we're going to take some lukewarm butter, and it's not fully room temperature, but it's going to be easier to work with. So I'm putting it into a loose square now, and as I said, it's room temperature, so it cut quite easily. So now that I've placed the 250 grams here, I'm going to fold it on both sides. Fold it also up like this. Flip it over. And use the roller here to get our perfect square. So now with the perfect square, we're just going to put this in the fridge to cool. So the dough has been in the fridge now about 20 minutes, and it's already starting to rise. We have our butter packet. It's been in the fridge maybe 5-10 minutes. And our next step here is we are going to roll out the dough. So I'm going to take a little bit of flour and flour our surface. And we will take the dough, and we're going to roll it into a square. We want to keep in mind the size of the butter pocket, because it's going to go right in the middle as a diamond. Perfect. So now we're going to unpack our butter. And we want it to be a diamond on here, so I will flip it. And we want to be encasing the butter now. So each side, I'm going to pull in. And we are going to get our rolling pin and roll it once again. This time, instead of a square, we're going to roll it into a rectangle. Now are we going to fold it up like an envelope. So make sure you get rid of any excess flour. And then 1/3 over. All right, so now we're going to take some more plastic wrap and we're going to wrap this up and put it in the fridge, and it's going to rest another 15 to 20 minutes. So in total, we're going to do this fold and rest 3 times. All right, we are now coming about our last roll and rest into the fridge. So we'll roll this out again into a rectangle. If you ever get any butter that pops through, just take a little bit of flour and make sure to just fill it in. Okay, so now I'm going to fold this up, put it in for 15 more minutes, and then we'll do the actual rollout where we'll put the poppy seeds and the sesame seeds on. So almost there. The Remonce is the cream that's going to go inside, and it's made up of equal parts butter, sugar, and marzipan. You can go ahead and mix this by hand or with a spoon until it's fully incorporated. We're now going to roll the dough out into a rectangle of around 60 centimeters by 30. We'll eventually be folding this in half. Now spread the Remonce on half of the rectangle. Take the other side of the rectangle and flip it onto the other side. It can be helpful to use a pastry card if the dough starts to stick to the bench. I ended up adding some flour because it was warm in my kitchen and I had to fill in any gaps so no butter was showing. Spread the egg on the first half of the dough. Then take some sesame seeds and you spread it on the first half on top of the egg wash. Now flip the dough over and do the same with the poppy seeds. Now cut the dough into around 12 equal rectangles. On 2 prepared baking sheets, twist the dough and put them onto the baking paper. Here is the final product. As you can see, it's dark outside, so it's not exactly a quick project, but they do taste really great, and I hope you try making them. So thank you for watching.